Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. With the increased use of artificial intelligence, many careers are actually in danger of being non-existent. So we are encouraged to pursue careers in tech and creativity. Today we're seated and we're in conversation with an information technology business specialist with a decade of years of experience. I'm your host, Yvonne Shabangu. Before we go into the shoutouts, we're going to go to for your own information. So there is I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's an increased number of AI content creators. Ne? So I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll go into her bio just before that. But have you seen on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
They are AI, like human beings that are like moving around, but they're not real.
Yes.
Like they actually vlog, do everything, but they're not real. So you guys need to be very careful when you're consuming content. Make sure that you're consuming real people at least, because then they're sharing realistic stories or realistic vlogs and stuff like that. And then also, if you're a driver, there has been an adjustment concerning the speed limits on the road from the 1st of July. If you don't comply, you may be fined about 7,500. So make sure that you know the speed limits, because you don't want to find yourself being fined that much. And then our shout outs, first one goes to Preeti Sihopo. And she says, what an incredible podcast. I enjoyed every part of it. What touched me the most is when Boipilo explained principles of the kingdom in business. Principles of the kingdom in business. I heard you. Yvonne, you have a great personality. And the second shout out goes to Lerato. And she says, informative episode. Junius is really one of the legal minds I look up to. Shout out to Employ a Lawyer as well. Great platform. And I'm always camping there. And we are seated with Millicent Musuo.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. She is a creative, an entrepreneur, a senior business information tech. Sorry, guys.
Business analyst.
Oh, business analyst. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And she's a mom and she's a wife, and she studied at the University of Val University of Technology. And she's done so many other courses and studied at other institutions, which she's going to tell us about. So we're going to start off with your icebreakers, ne?
Okay.
So I'm going to give you words and then you're going to tell us a story. So I just throw in a word, you start a sentence, I throw in another one, and then the story continues.
What?
So we're testing your creativity today.
I'm not that creative, but let's see.
Let's find out, right?
Okay.
Bakery.
I always wanted to own a bakery,
Corporate.
but I realized that passion does not care about the bills. So I entered corporate world.
Pageants.
I'm not sure how I feel about patience, but the funny story is that I used to enter them when I was in high school. As sure as I am.
Information technology.
The way I hated information technology at first, but funny enough, here I am and I'm loving it.
Scones.
I love my tea with scones.
YouTube.
And I found YouTube as a place for me to express myself.
Moses.
As in like a person or the character in the Bible.
You figure it out on your own. What works for your story?
I don't know what to say about it.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
If you had to describe yourself using a drink, what drink would you be and why?
Cappuccino.
Okay, why?
Cappuccino is nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it can be a little bit bitter. It can be a little bit bitter, but that's not. It can be interpreted as a little bitter, but that's because it's a bit strict. I think that's how I am.
Okay. So you're sweet but strict.
Strict.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then as a child, what did you want to be?
I wanted to pursue a career in agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
I think it was coming from the fact that I'm a village girl. So we grew up grinding mealies, going to the farm, eating the sugar cane, the tohu, planting. I grew up like that, and I love that life too much. So yeah, I wanted to pursue my career in agriculture, and I loved it as well in high school. It was my favorite subject.
And what changed?
I applied to do plant pathology. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Okay,
but
I
wanted
don't know
to be
about
a
it.
plant yeah, maybe I forgot the term.
Yes.
But at UP, but unfortunately, my dad passed on a year before I could go to varsity, and there were no funds, and I stayed at home, and then I heard about VUT that they actually allow you. They give you 6 months, more like intro to the course, and then if you do well in maths and computer, then they will take you. So then when I went to Vaal University, I just went for any course that was available as long as I was not sitting at home, and it happened to be IT.
Okay, let's hold that thought there.
Okay.
How was high school like?
High school was great. I loved my days in high school. I've always been in the public. Like I said, I used to model at my school, and I was at some point Mrs. my school.
I saw 2006.
Yes!
The year is 2006.
The year is 2006.
Yeah.
And then I also used to sing. I used to lead in songs.
Nice.
I've always loved prayer, leading people, and worship. Yeah. Okay. So I loved it. I loved my days in high school.
And what was your highlight in high school? What's the story you're going to tell your children?
I think I still have the pictures. Being Mrs. My school.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
I had a lot of fun doing that.
So then you transitioned from high school into the Vaal University, right? How did you handle the stereotypes? Because there are stereotypes about studying at a university of technology.
Yeah.
People, I don't know why these stereotypes, because I can't really speak much on it because I've never studied there, but I know there are stereotypes. How did you navigate that?
It was quite hard. I think for me, what really kept me focused was the fact that I really wanted change so bad, especially the change of my background, right? And nothing really mattered as long as I like that picture. The life I live now was once a picture that I had in my heart. So that's what really kept me going.
So you didn't care about anything else?
Yeah, the school that I went to didn't have computer literacy, and I was studying information technology, right? Obviously, you need to have knowledge of at least keyboard.
Yes.
You need to know how to type.
Yes.
So I used to take like textbooks, go to the lab and practice how to type by trying to type what I'm reading until I got used to knowing how to use the keyboard. I was using it for the first time at varsity.
What?
I'm telling you.
So you're one of those, I've heard some people say they'd never seen a computer or anything like that.
Yeah.
They saw it for the first time in uni. And how was that transition from high school into university? What did it teach you about you, and how did you navigate it? How was it?
I discovered that I actually have the spirit of perseverance because I didn't have a laptop for the longest of time. I think the whole year of my varsity, and as an IT student, you really needed to have because every single lecture that you get, you need to go back to your room and practice. If you're learning SQL or programming language, or you have to go back, and we were using a laptop. You needed to have a laptop. But yeah, that's what I discovered about myself. And I used what they had. And to go into computer lab, there were so many students there. I needed to get up early so that I can get a seat. Sure. Because you might find that you have to wait for someone to stop watching a movie. At the
times students we're so
downloading movies.
We'll be there chilling watching movies on YouTube.
Some would even go just to download movies so they can entertain themselves in the room, which they have the right, I guess, because everyone had access to that. I mean, if you're an IT student, you just need to have your own personal computer so that you can also get to save your work, right? Okay. So I just had a memory stick and I would go to computer lab, and that's what I used to do. So the transition was hard. I won't lie. And I remember sometimes I would even cry to my mom to say, is it really worth it? I could work, go McDonald's, I could do this. But yeah, that's what I did.
So how was university in general? What is your highlight from university?
For me, I would say it was great. Now, I think if I'm speaking now, I'll say it was,
in hindsight,
it was good, because it really taught me independence, right? So you get to do things for yourself. Yeah. And also I found such an incredible community there. I joined SCO and I started saving there. And that's why I started practicing my leadership skills. And then secondly, I got to serve in that organization, which prepared me for a lot of things. Nothing is wasted, honestly, in life, right?
That's true.
And just to have that personal space as well, where I get to begin the journey of discovering myself, the things I love to listen to, what I enjoy. And because compared to when I was still at my village, you're not really exposed to a lot of things when you're in the village, right? Including knowledge. Yeah. And my background, I was raised by my grandparents. They used to lock the gates. Like, I used to not be that child who's in the streets, playing with other kids, visiting so and so and so. I'm still a little bit like that. But being at varsity has helped me to be open to having fellowshipping with other people and having that community. Yeah.
So were you those kids that were being made to watch the church channel the whole day or National Geography?
No, we're not really. We're not really TV people. Village living is completely different.
Oh, yes. You did say.
It's not like our kids now where they watch Miss Rachel and Coco Melons. And there's so many things that you can do. And we sleep very early in the village.
Yes. And wake up very early.
And we wake up very early. Okay. There's so many things that kept me busy as a child. I didn't really watch TV. Things like be involved in our family business. My grandmother had a supermarket. Yeah. I used to be very, very helpful there. I learned a lot from him at a very young age. And like I said, to the farm, cleaning things up, come back. There's so many things that you get exposed to.
And time would move by so fast.
Yeah, I love village living.
And why in the city? Because city girls are up.
Because we need to make money. We need to work for our kids.
No, I hear that. And then what's your highlight in university?
My highlight, honestly, is just being able to make it through. And the people that I met, the people that God brought in my life. I think about it now and I'm like, that was the most incredible thing that came out of that. And that is something that contributed to the success of my journey at university. Otherwise, I wasn't going to make it without those people. They're very important to me. Yeah.
Special shout out to them. Hey. So when you were studying, you basically, you had no plans of studying information technology, right? You basically, like, I would say, I don't know if you know this book, but there's a book by Yvonne Orji. She says, Bamboozled by Jesus, like how she ended up in comedy. It was never part of her plan, but she ended up in comedy. So you ending up in your career lane or the degree that you studied, did you know the career options that were available? What was the plan?
No, there was no plan. Like I said, I just wanted to not be at home again because I stayed at home for a year and it wasn't good. Seeing my peers going to school, picking the bags, people that I studied with, people that I went to high school with, and that I grew up with and played with, you know. So yeah, it wasn't nice. So when I went to Val, honestly, I just wanted to leave the village and get something, and also to be able to work hard so that I can change my background.
Okay,
that's literally, there was no plan, but when I got exposed to the course, I fell in love with it.
Okay,
and I knew finally that I want to be a BA.
Okay. So then you knew in final year you want to be a BA, but what does a BA do? Like, where were you going to work? Were you applying for jobs and stuff?
So at Valley University, I don't know if they still do that now. At that time, for you to graduate, you needed to go look for a client facing real problem and do the BA work.
Hectic.
Yes. No, it was nice.
But when I think about it now, I'm just like, it sounds scary. But
because business analysis was one of the subjects that I was majoring in. So if you want to be a BA, at that time, the client I found was my doctor. So there was a doctor that I visited, and then I realized that he's using Excel spreadsheet at that time. And then I was like, I'm going to use him when I do project in my final year. So then I started gathering requirements, basically his pain points. That's what BA does, right? And then I found that one of the problems that he was facing is people would come and say they have money in their medical aid funds, and then he would help them only when he's claiming, and then he will be told that no, there's no money for this person. So as a BA, that's a requirement. That's a problem that needs to be broken down. So at that time, they were teaching us how to document a problem, just like you would do in a corporate world. So then we produced the first document, which is called business requirements document. And then the second one is now the product specifications. That's how you are describing the solution and how it should work, right? So it was 3 of us in the team. The other one was a Java developer. The other one was a tester, and I was a BA. So a BA would gather the requirements, document the requirements, make sure that you confirm with the client that, is this what you said you are facing? Okay, cool. Can you sign off? They sign off. Then now you propose a solution. On that solution, then you will say, okay, we're going to develop a system. This system will have user rights because currently anyone can access this Excel spreadsheet. And some of the patient's information needs to be kept confidential. Secondly, we're going to develop this software, and it will be able to communicate with the medical aid systems. So every time a patient comes and say, I'm sick, but I don't have cash, I'm going to use medical aid. You are able to use the medical aid number to validate if they have money or not. If they don't have, then they cannot see the doctor.
Okay.
So those are the kind of solutions that BA do. And then you see, I fell in love with it from then. And then once I'm done with the documents, then a BA hand over to the developer. Developer build the test against my requirements. If this thing is working according to my specifications. If it works, then you guys can graduate.
So you guys are the reason why now when we go to doctors, they will call you medical aid. Actually, to say, hey, is this person up to date? Is everything okay?
Even if they don't even have to call, they will just say, what's your ID number? You give them, oh, sweetie, it looks like there's a problem with your medical aid. That's what they're going to say to you, because we make sure that systems can talk to each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so then you did that program, and then was it easy for you to secure a job? What was your first job?
It wasn't easy, but I was very, very, if I can tell you, we won't finish. The first company that I applied to, I knew that if I get this one, I'm gone, and I got it.
Really?
I was I really pushed them to hire me. So, firstly, I worked as a receptionist in Joburg.
Okay.
And that's because I wanted to fund the project, the final year, right?
Okay.
And actually, I didn't really do the interview. It was just one of the relatives who are in politics. They have a party and they had an office. They needed a receptionist, someone who can attend to the people in the phone call, right? So then I was getting paid 3.5. So I really needed that. But it wasn't nice working there, and the condition of my accommodation in Soweto, it was so bad. I really didn't enjoy that phase of my life at all. I didn't feel safe 90% of the time. Going to the train, the situation in the train, sometimes you come out with your braids down because we are squashed.
Oh my goodness.
It's so bad. Walking from the train station in Joburg, jumping
Park
robots,
station.
CBD, and then going to work, going back late, like it was just not nice at all. Even in Soweto, like I'm a village girl. I don't like township. I'd rather live in a village or suburb, not township. So for me, it freaks me out because of I'm used to this quiet, village living. Slow living, Yeah. So I started applying. Then I found a job at Sanlam. And then I went for an interview, and then they told us that they actually want people who are going to sell policies. I was willing to do it. I went back to res because I always had a good relationship with the cleaners, the security guards. I would give from nothing, like I would share with them. So we had a relationship. I didn't have to go to the streets to sell the policies. One cleaner would sign up for funeral cover and then tell the other cleaner in block mama, security at gate A would sign up and tell the other security in gate B. That's how I would always have business to submit every Fridays. Yeah. And I used to get paid like around 12K.
Serious? Was that monthly or weekly?
It was monthly, but I'm just saying that they pay in commission. There was no basic salary. Okay. So if you got one funeral cover from that where the premium is 250 rands, the commission will be like 1,000, I think.
Oh, nice.
No, 1,000 something. Yeah. So if you have 5, then you have enough, So then I saved up, and then I was able to fund my graduation, got my mom to come as well. But then at the end of that year, I was like, no, let me go back home. And then look for, because I was done now, I had graduated, look for internships, because that's the process. Unfortunately, in South Africa, you need experience for you to qualify to be a junior. You need to be an intern first for most of us, right? So then I found out about this company that takes people to India for training, and then they bring you back and place you. I Googled them. I found the number. I called them. I asked, how can I apply? So the receptionist transferred my call to HR, and HR asked me to send them my CV. I did. They didn't get back to me. I called, hey, did you get my CV? Yes, I got it. Okay. When can I expect an interview? That's literally what I was doing.
It's for when can I expect an interview? You were so set in stone.
I was.
It has to happen.
They even said it when we were leaving Hori. Like, that's what they knew me. They knew my name. Even like it got to a point where when I called to follow up, they would say, Millicent, right? I'm like, yes. Oh, okay. We'll let you know. And then they called me to come and write a test. Unfortunately, the questions were so difficult. I felt when I was writing a test for the first time that I'm not going to make it. But I still continued to call, and then they told me that you didn't make it, right? That was the first 6 months. So they took the first batch in that year. I didn't give up. I continued I got another internship. I came to Joburg, but I knew I want to be a BA. That internship was more to do with support. So I just went, I think for a month and few weeks, I started pursuing Zensa. And then I called again to say, just checking if you're not hiring. Then they're like, oh, okay, you know what? We actually going to be taking another batch of interns now that these ones are sent to India. Then I'm like, okay, can I apply? They're like, yeah. I send my CV again. And then I was now in Joburg. I went to write the test. I already knew the process. And I already knew the questions, how to prepare. I nailed that test. And then I kept calling, hi, how long must I wait to know if I passed? Then they're like, actually, you are at the top of the list. We're going to let you know on Monday what will be the next steps. I'm like, cool. I went. They called and then I went for the interview. They knew me by that time. So they just asked me about SQL queries. Like just to see, like they really wanted to know, why do I want to be a BA so bad? And when I interacted with them, I literally sold myself. Then they took us, right? The second batch. We went to India. When we came back, the first batch had to be released because they didn't have any plan for them. So which means if I passed the first time, I was going to be one of the people who are just going to...
released.
Yes. But with our batch, when I came back, there was a plan. That's when they placed us as discovery.
So failure is never really failure. It is redirection.
It's not.
I have 2 questions for you, right? So you hear about this program that's happening in India. Weren't you afraid? What if it's scam? Because everything you've been saying, like you're so enthusiastic, you just wanted to go. Because this is South Africa, there are chances.
No, even if I didn't go to India, I just love the fact that, when you complete your studies and you're hired as an intern, it's rare that a company even has work for you.
Yeah.
In most cases, they're just doing it to not have to pay tax.
No, that is so true.
So what I loved about the company, whether they took me to India or not, is that they have different roles even in their internship programs. It's not that thing one blanket approach to say interns. So they'll say, okay, this is a group of developers.
Yeah.
This will be a group of testers, and then we'll have 3 or 2 BAs.
Okay.
So I knew that if I go here, my career as a BA is gonna start instantly. It's very hard to just go and start and become a BA. Most people start somewhere before they become a BA. Even if you go to these big insurance companies where you find a business analyst, they will tell you, I was at call center for 10 years and then I became a tester. Because now I knew this product. And then now I kept applying. I did this short course, then I became a BA. So for me, I've just been a BA my whole career life. I didn't have to start as anything else. Okay. I just started as a BA. So that's what I wanted. That's why I was so persuasive.
And how is that transition? Obviously, you may have not lived there in a long time, but how is the transition moving from South Africa to India? Like, I'm not sure if this is correct, but I know that India has quite a high population.
It does.
And then you are from a village, again, going back to that moment of like, in villages, it's community, it's few people. How busy, how was the transition?
Honestly, it's amazing in India in terms of that.
Yeah.
Because there is no crime like in South Africa.
Really?
You can walk to the mall at 12 midnight in India. Like, I was so shocked. Because of high population in India, they don't have enough notes to print out money. So sometimes if you go to the shop and let's say buy pizza and they don't have change, they write that on the paper that this will be your change. And you can use that paper to go buy somewhere else. And I was telling them that in South Africa...
You cannot. You can't.
People will start writing these papers for themselves.
That is so true. Oh my
That's
God.
how disciplined people are.
Wow.
It was so nice. But the only biggest challenge for me was food. I couldn't swallow the food.
So what were you eating?
I asked that they make my rice plain and they just boil 2 eggs for me. That's what I ate mostly. And then in campus, I would eat toasted cheese. Their dairy food is very nice, extremely nice. Then I would buy myself milk and cornflakes, eat that in my room. But at the hotel where everyone was eating, I was asking, I asked for them to not put spice because the food was very hot. And people are very hardworking, very hardworking. I'm not surprised that a lot of IT companies, even banks in South Africa, they have their offshore teams that are really making things happen are sitting in India.
And how is it interacting with others? I'll assume that there were other students from India in the program, right?
Yes.
How was the interaction like?
Oh, sorry. In the program, no, it was just us. But we were interacting with employees of the company. For example, if there's already BAs that are working for their clients, so they would expose us, sit with them, see how they do things. It was so difficult. The language barrier.
I was about to ask about the culture shocks.
It was so difficult, Shem. I don't want to lie, but kindness. They're very kind, very respectful. They love work. You cannot be in India and not become a hard worker unless or not be inspired to actually work hard. They work very hard, those people. They're very dedicated. But for me to even explain that I don't want spice in the rice, like people in the hotels don't know English. Maybe those ones that are educated in campus. But Leona, you really have to work hard to try and explain what you're saying. So we talk our English like this. No spice, this one. Plain. Exactly how you speak to my friend. That's exactly how we were talking there. We were speaking to them.
And the people that were teaching you coding and everything, were you able to understand them?
Yes, they're professionals.
Oh, okay. So the language
and also because I
there.
went there for BAs, I was not doing anything that is not BA.
Oh,
so
okay.
we were split. Those were testers were doing testing training. Those were in dev, would go to their dev development thingy. Java classes, yeah.
And then you come back. When you come back, did you just score yourself a role? How was the transition back?
When I came back, that's when they told us that they were training us for Discovery Health. So by the grace of God, we went straight to Discovery. When we got to Discovery wanted us to be trained, still be trained
again
by their internal mentors. Yes, and then I found a mentor, a very great woman. She at that time she had 15 years of experience as a BA. I adored her so much. Like, would have coffee every single morning because remember, I fell in love with the role back in school. So I would ask the questions and she taught me a lot. That was meant to go on for 3 months and then would write tests, she would mark and give results. And then it shows that she was happy with my progress. Then based on how you learn or based on your skills and your ability, the way I think we were 3 BAs, then they will know exactly where you need to be placed. I've always wanted to start my career where I'm developing products from scratch. When I say product, I mean like applications, softwares, I've always wanted that. And she saw me fit to be placed there. And that's when I was placed in clinical systems where we were developing things from scratch. And then my other colleague was suitable for a place where they're maintaining existing systems. Like claims is already existing. You receiving claims every hour.
Yeah.
That's where they were placed. So it's nice. I loved that 3 months there because I might have a goal to say, you know what, I actually want to develop things from scratch. But a mentor like her was good enough to know that this one will just be setting up yourself for failure and frustrating yourself. You will be more suitable here. So we were all happy. And after... I think just a few months, because when I moved to clinical systems, there was already a project waiting for me. So when that project became a success, there was no senior BA. I would go to work even on Saturdays. with my colleague who was my friend at that time. He was a software developer as well. So yeah, I would agree. Let's go. Let's push on Saturdays. I didn't have a life, honestly. So yeah, I would leave. I would make sure that I'm at work at 6 a.m. and would leave around 7 p.m.
Hectic.
Because for me, it was learning and at the same time implementing. And also, I would go back to my mentor to say, I have a BRS, like the document I told you about. I've drafted it. I'm not sure. Please review it. Then I would go to her and then she would still help me to say this diagram, put it this way, do this, give me the comments. And then, yeah, the project became a success and they decided to take us permanently in 2017. From 2017 Jan, I became a junior BA.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then how did you feel when you officially got that stamp of approval to say, you know what, this is your job and you're permanent now?
Yeah, I felt, remember I told you that back in varsity, what really kept me was the fact that I really wanted to change my background so bad. I cried in disbelief and I was very grateful to God and I really didn't want it to be messed up. So I kept it to myself. I didn't tell my mom, didn't tell my brother, didn't tell my cousin.
For how long?
I just kept it to myself that I'm permanent and I'm making money for until I finished building a house. I didn't announce anything. I kept it to myself. And because also I didn't want to change anything concerning my lifestyle. I still lived, I still paid myself a stipend from the salary. And then the rest of the money I saved it towards building at home. So I didn't upgrade my life. I didn't suddenly eat cook cafeteria. I just continued to carry my Oros and my lunchbox.
I love that. But where did that mentality to say, you know what, I'm going to... Because, I mean, most of the times when something good happens to us, we want to tell the whole world. Like right now, we always make a joke to say, if you didn't capture it, it didn't happen. We take photos at interviews. We take photos of our employment contracts and we put it on social media. We're like, God has done it. But what made you decide to say, you know what, let me keep this to myself? And didn't it steal a bit of joy from you in a way?
No, it didn't. And I feel like, I don't know, I felt like it needed to be protected because of what I needed to do. And I needed to walk that journey with God. It was scary. I mean, I'm young and I'm building a house. I was even scared. I had 2 house plans, Yamazeng and Yatile. I didn't know which one to go for. What if it fails? So for me, I think if I'm building something that feels very sacred for me, I feel like I need to keep it between me and God. And then only when I've achieved it, then I can post, I can announce, I can celebrate. So yeah, at that time for me, it was a matter of I really want to change my background was terrible. I think maybe that's why. So I couldn't afford to fail at changing it. I really wanted to change it with all my heart.
There are allegations. I've got a friend who's a BA actually, right? He's always throwing jabs at me. Ari, I hear you guys lawyers lekola 5,000 rand. As they by BA were making real money. So I want to know, what does an average salary of a BA look like?
It depends on experience and where you work, to be honest. Depends. Now, my first salary was around 20K.
And which year was that?
2017.
2017, 9 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
That's entry-level salary. Yes, that's entry-level salary between 20 and 23, right? Gross. Yeah. So as you progress... Honestly, in IT, let me tell you, you can meet someone who has 6 years experience and they are close to 1 million per annum.
For real?
Because they jumped jobs a lot.
Oh, okay.
And then you can have someone who has 10 years of experience and and they are earning just 600K or 500K per annum because they've been at the same company, working for the same company for the longest time.
Yeah.
So most people jump around a lot, and that obviously increases your salary before they settle. So, but in average entry level, it's around that. And then from there, it just depends on where you work and their budget. Yeah. And also there are options to be a consultant.
Okay.
Especially on senior level, if you wanna bill per hour on your own, like be an independent BA, you can, and you can tell them what's your rate. I know someone who bill 1,000 per hour. If you calculate it, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
If you multiply that 1,000 by 8, it means they're making 8K per day. And 8K per week. I mean, that 8K, if you multiply it by
10 days,
by
give
10
me
days,
8K, 80K, yo.
and that's just 10 days. That's just 2 weeks' salary. So yeah, it's a very good career, and it's in demand. There's always
jobs.
Yeah, especially in fintech, in financial industry. And now I saw on LinkedIn, even engineering sector is now embracing BAs.
Oh, nice.
They now
So what are the requirements, if you know, besides at a tech university, but what are the requirements of actually becoming a BA?
So usually they would say have a BA degree or related. They usually just mean IT degree. Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's a national diploma or a degree, or that's what you need to have.
Okay.
And also now there's a 6 months course that you can do BA, which is very good. Every time there was a time I worked for one of my clients, and the architect that I was working with asked me if I have that 6 months. Did you do the 6 months course? I was like, no, it's just experience. So it means the course is good. I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not going to do it.
Why?
Because I already have an IT degree.
Okay.
It helps when you don't have a BA-related degree. So I already have my national diploma in information technology. So I think now what I'm going to do is, based on my experience and what I enjoy doing the most currently, that's just what I'm going to specialize in. Okay. So if I'm enjoying, I'm still choosing, still deciding. But I think being an agile BA, I get a lot of opportunities in that. So I'm just going to go into the agile course and study that, and probably become a Scrum Master.
Okay, what does a Scrum Master do? What does that mean?
Scrum Master it's a modern project manager, but for IT projects. So a Scrum Master is the person who organizes the scope, manage the scope of work, a portion of work that's been delivered in an iteration. Like if as a team, we let's say we're building an app, and the app consists of ability to log in, ability to capture your details and save them, ability to request the statement, ability, So let's say maybe you want to break it down into different different iterations to say, okay, this company banyaka portal for their customers, so that they stop going to the branch and just do self-service on the app or on the web. So then a Scrum Master is able to say, what is a backlog of tasks that we need to complete for us to achieve this whole portal? And then Scrum Master facilitate that. You break it down with the rest of the team members. Then based on the backlog, you say, okay, let's give them one thing at a time, so that they can see prototypes and progress and what's happening. We get comments as we go so that we can deliver this thing sooner. So then every 2 weeks, we say, okay, let's give them their first screen where they can be able to log in. Then logging in has a lot of things that go in there. It's not to you as an end user, it's a login. In the back end, we need to validate the credentials. Are they correct against what's been saved in the database? If the email address is incorrect, we are able to say, no, error message, please do, those kind of things. So a Scrum Master manages that, facilitate that, set up ceremonies like daily meetings for us to sync and see how far we are, moving tickets and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm doing most of that and I love it. Mara, even when I started with my career, I did a lot. There was no budget for a Scrum Master at that time. So I would jump in and do that. And I would also do tasting job. I think I loved, that's why I always say Discovery Health is the highlight of my career because I learned a lot. I was thrown under the bus. There were no lot of roles, but my ability to jump in and do those things, it helped me because moving from there to another company, I'm still able to jump in. And if you do that, sometimes it, especially when you start in the early years of your career, it might look like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. It's not part of my job. I actually like Veronica, the lady that trends on
TikTok,
on entry level. If you wanna make it, actually benefits you, especially when it's not demanded. No one demanded that I just saw that I can actually just run the stand-ups. It was a challenge for me. But when you move to the next job, it's funny, where I am currently, they're embracing it and they want all the other departments to mimic what I'm doing and to use my way of doing things as a BA, as a framework. That is an opportunity, and you see there is room for promotion. But it all started when I was open to doing it, when I started with my career. Imagine if I said, I am a BA, I am just gonna write the requirements and I don't care about the scope of work. Someone has to come and manage it. Sometimes it benefits you because later in your experience, you become useful and God leads you to a company where they actually embrace it and they want to pay you for that. And it's just good to be knowledgeable.
I love that attitude, but now we have like a high percentage of toxicities in the workplace and long hours, underpayment and all of that. Then where do we draw the line from wanting to benefit or get the experience and actually being placed in positions or work environments that are harsh?
No, that's a totally different thing. So for me, in my personal experience, it was my choice because I really wanted to succeed, number one. Number two, I wanted to know. So if you are on entry level, the environment was not toxic. Okay. It was full of kind people, kind managers that would compliment you. I mean, they even nominated me for a star award in that first year. And even when I wanted to leave, they were not toxic. They were just like, should you want to come back, you're more than welcome to. You get what I mean? So it depends. If you're really in a happy place and you as a person, if you have a goal to learn, if you just dedicate 2 years of your career to say, I just want to learn, then use those opportunities because that's the best way to learn than going to read a textbook. Going early, it was because I'm learning. So I needed time to learn so that when people come to work, when meetings start, I'm done with a part of thing that I wanted to do before I get distracted by people and socializing with the colleagues. And then in the evening when they knock off, I didn't have a child, didn't have a husband. I knew that if I don't use these years to build myself, what am I going to do? I don't even cook every day, but now I don't do that. Even if they say to me, this meeting is ending and we have another one. Can we catch up again after 5? I don't. Because I always tell them
the time.
I tell them in a good way, it's time for my kids and I. And I also communicate upfront before you hire me that on this day and this day and this day, my child has swimming. Don't book me for a meeting. And then I communicate on time because I know I'm confident in my work that if you don't have any problem with how I'm going to deliver, there is no way as my senior, you wouldn't allow me to just quickly go during my lunch break, take my child for swimming and come back. Family is very important to me now. But I've done what I needed to do when I was allowed to, so that now I don't have to work extra hours when my kids want us to sing together and play. No, that's more important than my career. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. So what I'm getting from this is that whenever you get the opportunity and you still have capacity to work 2 times hard, do it, because then you get to rest in future as well.
Yeah.
What is the hardest thing about your job?
Dealing with stakeholders that cannot decide or they don't know what they want. This week, Unyaga Portal. Okay, I gather all the requirements. We start facilitating. Now we want your sign off. You're like, actually, I think I also want people to withdraw via the app. And it was not part of the scope. And you're delaying everything. We have people in the project that are waiting to work and they haven't started working, but they're getting paid every month. Remember, every project has a budget and a time frame.
Yes.
And you're busy not making decisions. It's so hard. That's the hardest thing. And then the second thing is working with a development team that is not, I think I've experienced this, and it really kills my energy and drive for work. Like, I could almost resign. Dealing with a development team that I can say lacks skills. Like, they just don't deliver. No matter what you do, like we just agree, let's at least show a prototype of this. Every day, I'm still working on this. I didn't finish. Tomorrow, I'm still working on this. Before you know it, it's the end of the iteration and we have nothing to show. It's very frustrating as a BA. But I enjoy when I work in a place where we just challenge each other. We have the same goal. I'm a very good team player.
Okay.
I like to jump in, do something if someone cannot do it. And also the worst thing in my career that I had to deal with was a development team that really can deliver and the manager doesn't even seem to care. Their manager. Like I in the same meetings, like I would get to say, okay, how far are you with this? What's happening? What can I report? And there's no progress, and then the manager's quiet, and I have to ask the manager, what's your plan? What's your plan as a manager, since your people are saying they're struggling, they're stuck, they don't know how to complete this. There's no plan. You can't even jump in. Guys, that is so frustrating.
No,
Yes.
I hear you. And what has been the highlight of your career?
Delivering the first application at Discovery Health. And the business owners that I worked with. This is the highlight of my career. I don't want to lie. It made me who I am. That experience, that company made me who I am. They're very organized. I also love how they get to build their leaders as well. I think if I were to run my company, I would mimic how Discovery does things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Then they need to sponsor this episode because Discovery.
It is such a good company.
I love that. You're a mom, content creator, wife, BA, and so many other things, right? How do you manage your time? Because I can understand how tough it is actually being able to execute, but not just execute, but execute well. How do you manage
do I
to do all of
execute
that?
well?
Well, as far as we are concerned.
Well, I plan. That's number one. And planning helps me prioritize what's important. And I don't have a problem with dropping certain things in a certain season where the other thing is more requiring. For example, I used to do events through my company Execution Dynamics, right? Where I encourage people to execute, help them. I used to also do one-on-one consultations where I help you execute your vision, your goals, help you start planning for your time. When I fell pregnant with Anesu, there was no capacity for that. I was okay with pausing and focusing on the pregnancy so that I can also get to enjoy it. So you will never, if you find me doing multiple things at the same time, I'm happy doing them. But also, I know what are my priorities. Being a wife is my priority. My home is my priority. My career, because that's what keeps the lights on. I love it, right? I don't want to give it up. And then all the other passion projects, I'm able to pause when I needed to pause. I started baking earlier this
Did
year.
you bring my scones?
I couldn't bake.
It's
But
fine.
I will. Don't worry. I'm officially opening on Monday. That's
Okay.
why. So when I saw that I needed a break to the at work, it was getting a little bit hectic, and I didn't want the 20-liter buckets of scones and work and the kids, and I was able to take a 3 weeks break from baking, and then to strategize and focus on what's more important. Honestly, that's what helps me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then what movie? You said you're not a TV person, eh?
Not really.
What podcast or book would you recommend that everybody should listen to or read?
It depends. You mean for career?
Anyone,
Or for
anything,
building themselves?
like a book that you feel like this one, every single person on earth should read it, whether it's for their career or it's for whatever.
It's funny, I'm not a book person. I prefer to watch podcasts,
Okay.
videos, right? So I don't like, based on my principles that I live by, I don't like to recommend things for people.
Okay.
But I like to encourage people to discover who they are and let everything else be dictated by their purpose.
Okay.
Just because I read a good book, it doesn't mean it will be good to you, because you are on a different journey with God and what you are meant to do. So my biggest principle is stop wasting time on things that have nothing to do with who you are. So I would say let the book you read, the podcast you watch, the events you go to, the places you find yourself in, the associations you entertain, people you follow, influential people that you really follow, let that be dictated by your purpose.
Love that.
Yeah.
And in closing, what is the season of your life and what is that one skill that you think every person should learn?
Please rephrase the question. I want to answer the first one. The season of.
Okay. So in closing, what is that one skill that you think everyone should learn?
Yeah.
And what is the season of your life? So season.
Now my
Yes.
current season. I wanted to jump to the season. Let me go to the skills. Basic skills like reading, communicating will take you far in life, right? And I've seen people literally going far with just being able to communicate with people, especially in workplaces. And they just go far, you know. And then my season, I think I'm in a season of jubilee.
Jubilee joy.
I love the season I'm in. Honestly, I really love it. I did a YouTube video and uploaded it this morning to say I love my life. Marriage-wise,
I pray for us, guys.
I think that's the season I'm in. Work, sure. It's nice. I think, I'm sure you saw my status the other day. I can't wait to go to work. I don't remember the last time I was feeling like I can't wait to go to work. That's literally the season I'm in. And I think it's a result of the break that I took to go seek the face of God. And I have been fueled and energized. So as a result, I love everything about my life right now. I'm so joyful.
Love that so much. Thank you so much for honoring my invite. Time is up. It went by so fast, right? Thank you so much for honoring my invite. I really wish you the very best and I can't wait to try the Nina scones. By the time we air this episode, it would already be open. So I'll share the link here on the screen. Then you guys can follow and make your orders, and it's winter and stuff. To everybody at home, thank you for watching. Do not forget to use the thank you option. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Cheers.
Cheers.